Coming up on Lexington Now, we'll show you renovations at the historic downtown courthouse. We'll tell you what's going on at the Living Arts and Science Center and get ready for Summerfest. This and more up next on this week's edition of Lexington Now. Roberts, and welcome to this edition of Lexington Now, where we're bringing you the latest news from your urban county government. A few weeks ago, we gave you a sneak peek of the renovations going on at the downtown courthouse, the historic one. This week, we caught up with the project manager to give you an even more in-depth look.
It doesn't close at 5 o'clock. There's events there afterwards. You can get dinner there, get a drink there, go to an event there. So it's truly a place that is open all the time. And so people can come and just really enjoy it. That was a vision the mayor had, and fortunately our project team and our development agents are on that path to make that a reality.
Jennifer Wernma is talking about the historic downtown courthouse, which is under construction. And when finished in spring 2018, it will be a world-class mixed-use and event space.
And they will hold anything from weddings to baby showers to corporate events, corporate luncheons, and so we are just thrilled.
And several local businesses will call it home.
We're in talks right now with the Visitors Bureau, Visit Lex as they're known, to have both their tourist sort of departure zone as well as their corporate offices. And then we're also in talks with Breeders' Cup for their corporate offices.
But before it goes from this to this, there's a lot of cleanup and rebuilding to do.
They're moving along wonderfully.
Administrative Officer Jessica Walker says getting rid of environmental hazards is what crews are working on now.
Back in 2012 was when we closed the historic museum that was in the building because of the asbestos that was found. So asbestos and then the lead paint. The asbestos is on the HVAC equipment, and the lead paint obviously is the paint that's in the dome and the rest of the building. So we're trying to get rid of those kinds of materials.
When cleanup is done, the goal is to transform this into a modern space while respecting the history of the structure.
Our developers that we have on board are real stewards of history in old buildings, and we have some of the best in the business doing this building. The 21C in Lexington here now, and then the building right next door, it's going to really bring a synergy to the whole entire area.
That synergy of food, fun, and flair between businesses, event venues, and hotels, all within feet of each other, is what planners hope will make the building a go-to destination for people all around the region.
I think people will just be shocked that that rotunda and that space exists in Central Kentucky. It's really one of a kind.
Stay tuned to Lexington Now for more updates on this project. And another project in downtown which is now complete is the renovation and expansion of the Living Arts and Science Center. Catherine Minton with the Downtown Lexington Corporation gave us a tour.
Hi, I'm here with Heather Lyons, Executive Director of the Living Arts and Science Center, and she's about to take us on a tour of their newly renovated building. Come on in. Heather, so tell me a little bit about this room.
This is the Marksberry Discovery Gallery, and right now we have a wonderful space exhibit up with a lot of things that we have on loan from NASA, and it's all interactive, so we have field trips that come in regularly. It's open for our classes to use, and we also have Discovery Saturdays. Each Saturday the general public can come in and enjoy the exhibit.
Heather, where are we going to go next?
We're going to go upstairs to our digital media lab. There's a really neat class in programming going on right now.
Let's go.
We're in the Jean Allen Bell Digital Media Lab right now, and there's a really great Scratch computer programming class going on. This is an opportunity for students to learn in a really fun way about computer programming and coding. So we're excited to be able to offer classes like this now in the Digital Media Lab.
What do you have next for us?
We're going to visit a painting class. We have such a wide range of art and science classes here, so we'll take a look at 3rd to 5th graders in a painting class now.
Let's go.
We're in a painting fundamentals class right now with our artist Patrick Smith. And today they're working on black and white painting, and I understand they just recently watched a film about old Disney artists who create the backgrounds for the films.
Here we are in the Kincaid Gallery, and Heather is going to tell us more about what you can find in here.
Right now we have a really fascinating show called Rules and Play, and this is a collaboration with Run Jump Dev, which is a cooperative of programmers, digital artists, gaming artists, and so every work in this exhibit is interactive. So it's going to be really fun to have folks come in and interact with all of the different artwork here and also in our Discovery Center.
Heather, there is so much to see and do here. So where are you going to take me next?
We're going to go back into the Discovery Center. We have a new clay studio there, which we're really excited about, with pottery wheels and kilns, and it allows everyone to get the full understanding of working in ceramics.
I can't wait. Let's go. The clay studio. Heather, tell us what goes on in here.
This is the Keeneland Clay Studio, and we have a wide range of classes for preschool all the way up to adults. We have pottery wheels now, and we're sitting right in front of the kiln where students can learn about the process after they've created their pottery and they've glazed it. Then it goes into the kiln for essentially high temperature baking. So it's been really fun to have the whole process here available in the studio for students to learn all about that.
Great.
Coming up after the break, we'll continue our tour of the Living Arts and Science Center.
Yeah! You got to give a little love. Give a little love. Go on and do it. You can't abuse it. Give a little love. Give a little love. Go on and do it. Go! You got to give a little love. Give a little love. Go on and do it. You can't abuse it. Give a little love.
Hello, I'm Detective Mark Thomas with the Lexington Police Department. You may also know me from Bluegrass Crime Stoppers. I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about a new texting system that we have available through any smartphone. In the body of your message, you can text LexPD plus your tip to crimes. When you're submitting anonymous information, we ask that you include several things that would help us conduct the investigations more thoroughly, such as a person's name, their home address, possible license plate numbers, any other people involved, or why you think that they're conducting the type of activity that you believe that they are. All of those things, no matter how small you believe they could be, are relevant to the investigation. So please include those. So remember, you can send your anonymous tip information either through text, you can call the Bluegrass Crime Stoppers anonymous tip line at 859-253-2020, or you can go online to bluegrasscrimestoppers.com. Thank you.
This message is brought to you by the U.S. Fire Administration. Have two ways out. When fire strikes, deadly smoke can fill your home within minutes. That's why the USFA wants you to plan and practice home fire drills. Draw a map of each level of your home showing all doors and windows. Discuss the map with everyone who lives with you. Practice your home fire drill at least twice a year. Make sure all doors and windows that lead outside open easily. Push the smoke alarm button to start the drill. Try feeling your way in the dark or with your eyes closed. Have at least 2 ways out of every room. If your first way out is blocked by fire or smoke, you can use your second way out. If there is smoke, get low and go. Crawl quickly under the smoke to your nearest exit. Close doors behind you and gather at a pre-planned outside meeting place where first responders can see you. Call 911. Remember, get out and stay out. Never go back inside for people, pets, or things. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
Welcome back to the show. Before the break, we started with a guided tour of the newly renovated and expanded Living Arts and Science Center. We continue where we left off with Catherine Minton.
Heather, what else is here?
We have a wonderful Dupree teaching kitchen that's in our brand new building, so I'd love to show that to you.
I would love to see it. Heather, where are we now? We just came from the clay studio and now I feel like I'm in a restaurant.
This is the Dupree Teaching Kitchen, and we have a full kitchen now that we can teach children, again, all the way up to adults, about healthy cooking. So we're using some of the outdoors grounds for planting and bringing fresh food in for the students to learn. We'll be working with guest chefs in these classes, so we have a variety of more cooking classes coming up this summer.
Let's go outside next and Heather's going to tell us more about the grounds. So now we are outside and Heather is going to tell us about this natural pond that we're standing in the middle of.
We're really excited to have the grounds back after our construction and expansion project, and we now have a waterfall stream, and the water comes from the rainwater that we collect off of the roof, and it is collected in the underground cistern. So we're really excited to be able to teach conservation practices and environmental education. We also have wonderful gardens out here that are small now, but we'll be growing a butterfly garden and herb gardens, and we'll have vegetable gardens that we use in the kitchens. So a variety of teaching opportunities out on the grounds that really allow us to have a living landscape here, not only for the programs, but for the neighborhood and the whole community. The Living Arts and Science Center is a nonprofit organization, and we've been here in downtown Lexington for 45 years. So very long-term residents of the East End neighborhood, which we're very, very proud of. And we really do a wide range of programming in the arts and sciences. It includes classes, of course, which we have going on all summer. Also during the school year, we have classes on no school days and during holidays, in the evenings, on Saturdays. We also have large educational programs for schools where we bring in field trips who get to enjoy the science exhibits, the art exhibits, and of course our new planetarium. And we do a lot of special events where we have a Day of the Dead festivals and family fun days in the spring. We also have a Discovery Saturday program where people can come in and enjoy the exhibits, our makerspace where there's something new every Saturday where they can come in and build things together, kids, adults, families, and then they get to see a planetarium show. The planetarium is a really exciting new opportunity for us. We have a variety of programs that are shown in the dome, and so those are shown now every Saturday, and then also thousands of kids are coming in for field trips from around the state that get to come in and enjoy the planetarium. So we're so excited to have that now. And now our mobile planetarium that we'd had in the past, it gets to travel the state going out to schools and libraries. So it's all a lot of exciting new things that are taking place with our new addition.
For more information about classes, where should people go? Because I know you all offer classes from preschool to high school and even some adult classes.
Exactly. Our website is has a great amount of information. It's lasclex.org. You can also call 252-5222. And then we have a Facebook page where we also post regularly all different kinds of events coming up.
Heather, thank you so much for having us. The center is such an asset to our community, and we're so fortunate to have it right here in the east end of our downtown.
Thank you. Thanks so much. It was great sharing it with you.
And thank you all for watching Only Downtown on GTV3.
Hey, yeah! Hello, everybody!
For more information about the center, you can visit their website. It's listed here on the screen. For the past several decades, outdoor theater has been a summertime tradition in Lexington. And this year, it's going back to where it all started, Woodland Park.
The Kentucky Conservatory Theater had its beginnings 10 years ago with the closure of the popular Lexington Shakespeare Festival. But its roots go back much further and are returning to where it all began. Wes Nelson, KCT Artistic Director, explains.
Shakespeare in the Park thrived out here in Woodland Park for several years from 1982 to 1996. And then in 1996, they moved to the UK Arboretum where they lasted for several years. And then they ended up closing their doors due to financial trouble. And so at that point, there was a large outcry from the community saying, no, we don't want to lose our outdoor theater festival. And so a group of people, kind of led by Joe Farrell and Trish Clark, got together and said we can save this, and that's when Summerfest was born. And so without missing one summer, Summerfest took over the carrying the torch for Shakespeare outside and has continued for the past 10 years producing outdoor theater.
Part of the popularity of Summerfest has been its careful selection of shows produced, blending the classic and the contemporary.
Each year, I take a look as artistic director at different plays that will work for us. You kind of have to look at different factors because we do produce outdoor theater. So you have to look at the size of the stage that we have every summer, think about the elements, think about things like set changes, lighting design. So there's lots of technical elements that go into it as well. Each year we select one Shakespeare play, which is basically because it's our heritage is in producing Shakespeare. So we like to stay true to that. And then every summer we like to mix that with a musical as well.
Summerfest is not only a draw for patrons, but also for local talent, many of whom have gone on to bigger things, which is a source of pride for Wes.
We've had a lot of success stories. I mean, a lot of our people have gone on, and actually several years ago, it was the very first production that Summerfest did. The first year we took over for Lexington Shakespeare Festival, we produced Romeo and Juliet, and we actually cast teenage actors in those roles to be age appropriate, and Lucy Sharp played Juliet. And Lucy has now been in several television shows. She's had a couple cameos in movies, and she's done quite well. She had some guest spots on Downton Abbey, so she's done really well. Actor who played the creation of Frankenstein for us a few summers ago, Nick Vanoy, I recently just saw him in a national television commercial a few days ago. So it's really cool to see the people who started out with us, especially the people who started with us as young students, going on and doing this as a career and thriving at it.
Affordability has always been a key factor in Summerfest's longevity.
We've lowered our ticket prices to a general admission rate of $10. So you can come in, that $10 basically gives you the chance to either bring a blanket and sit down close to the stage, or you can bring a lawn chair and sit a little bit further back. Or if you want to come hands-free, we do have chairs that we rent for $5 extra. So you come out, people bring blankets, picnic baskets, bottles of wine. We have Wessex Brewing with us this year selling beer. So it's a really fun event, and people actually usually come early when the gates open at 7 and spread out their picnic and enjoy the weather and then hang out for the show after that.
But as Wes explains, Summerfest isn't the only reason to celebrate the arts at Woodland Park.
We're excited to be back downtown and back with Woodland Park. It's thrilling to know that within a month-and-a-half time period, there will be theater with Summerfest, dance with Ballet Under the Stars, and visual arts with the Woodland Art Fair. And it's been great to collaborate with those two groups, and to have something like that in a downtown park with all those arts disciplines is incredible. And so Lexington should be proud of having that here, and we should all celebrate it together.
Don't miss the 10th anniversary of Summerfest and the festival's return to Woodland Park. William Shakespeare's As You Like It kicks off the summer season. This pastoral comedy set in the Forest of Arden begins on June 30th. Tim Rice and Andrew Lloyd Webber's rock opera Jesus Christ Superstar alternates weekends at this year's event. For ticket information, visit mykct.org or call 859-935-1564.
Lexington is home to some big, beautiful, and historic trees, but sometimes those trees have to be cut down. And as John Saylor tells us, it's not a decision that city officials take lightly.
We really have to do our homework and make sure that's something that is needed. We never want to lose the tree. We don't want to lose any kind of canopy across the city. So we have to make sure that we do a tree risk assessment, make sure that there is, we want to mitigate any hazard that we have in our right-of-ways, in our medians, in our parks, anything that we own in the city. We want to make sure that people can enjoy our facilities safely. We've watched this tree kind of declining for years, and so at this point we just realized that it's not going to get any better, and after doing a deeper investigation with our assessment tools, realized that this tree is hollow, and it's right over a park bench, and just where it's situated in the park, we couldn't leave it standing anymore. It does have some green on it, but that's something that people just walking by, they'll see a tree with green, and they think, well, why is that tree being removed? It's a green tree, but it's a green tree with a shell of what it should be. It's not structurally sound, and so we learned that from doing our assessment, our tree risk assessment. That's a decision not made lightly. Like I said, we want any tree that predates Lexington, we really want to look at close and make sure that we're making the right call and the right decision. It probably is a pre-settlement tree. It's probably roughly 150, 200 years old. We are going to try to age the tree once we remove it the best that we can. Again, it's hollow, so we can only do that to a point where the wood is sound, and then just can age it from there after we cut it down. This had some basal damage, which when people are mowing their properties, you want to make sure the best thing you can do for your tree is make sure you mulch around your tree so that you don't nick it with the mower, you don't hit it with the weed eater. When you install a tree, you want to make sure that you take care and you don't mitigate any damage to that base, because the smallest of wounds can create a large void later on in that tree's life. So even at installing and planting, you want to take care of planting those trees in the ground, making sure that you don't nick them with your shovel or hit them with any kind of your tools, or loading them off your truck. You want to make sure you don't scrape the trunk. So that can develop into heart rot and disease for the tree later on in its life. In this situation, we also had a sidewalk that came through, and so just if people have hardscape or anything around their trees, just be mindful of that impact that it will have on the tree and the root system. There's lessons that we can learn through the hardscape and stuff that we put around our trees and our yards and properties.
To learn more about tree care and how you can keep your yard healthy, you can visit the Environmental Services site. It's on the city's website, lexingtonky.gov. $250. That's a pretty penny, and that's how much you could pay if you park in the wrong place. This is all thanks to a new ordinance which works to make sure that handicap accessible parking stays accessible for the people who need it. You've likely seen this sign in front of a diagonally striped box in a parking lot and wondered, what is that space for?
So that access aisle really allows me, as a person who uses a wheelchair, to get in and out of my vehicle safely.
As you can see here, a driver or passenger in a lift van pulls into the space next to the stripes. They drop the lift, and then the person in the wheelchair can safely get out. But all around town, people have been blocking or parking in these spaces, making it impossible for people in wheelchairs to use them. Now there's a new law to address that.
People get confused over those access aisles. So the new city ordinance states that in any new construction, any parking lot that's resurfaced, reconfigured, or redesigned, restriped in any way, the access aisle needs to be striped in yellow or white. Additionally, no parking anytime needs to be painted in that access aisle, and we need to have a sign erected that says no parking anytime.
Those who violate the new law could also face a higher fine.
The handicap parking fine in Lexington used to be $15, which is not very much. So we approached our city council and they unanimously approved increasing the fine to $250.
In order for drivers to be aware of where not to park, existing business owners are being asked to restripe and properly post signage. Christy Stambaugh, Director of Aging and Disability Services with the City of Lexington, says the city is willing to help with that.
We would provide the sign to your business free of charge that says no parking anytime.
Stambaugh says making these changes is an important step in making Lexington better for everyone.
Because as our community is aging, we need to make sure that we're a very livable community. And by increasing handicap parking, that's one of the ways that we're making Lexington a more livable community.
For more information on where not to park or for information about how you can get connected with social services and get some assistance with getting your parking lot in compliance, call Lex Call 311 and ask to be connected with the Social Services Department. City Council is on summer recess, but there's still plenty going on here in the Urban County government, beginning with Wednesday's Corridors Commission Public Art Subcommittee and the Green Space Commission Committee meeting. Now, this is just a sneak peek at what's on the calendar, but for a complete listing of meetings and events, you can log on to the city's website at lexingtonky.gov. Well, that is all for this week's edition of Lexington Now. We'll return next week with more news from your Urban County government. But in the meantime, you can keep up with what we're doing by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also get 24/7 traffic updates, and we now have two ways. The first is Twitter. You can follow us on our Twitter handle. It's @LexRex. And now on the city's website, you can get a look at live traffic cameras. You simply pick the one you want to see and take a look at what's going on the road. Well, for the staff and producers at GTV3, I'm Sherelle Roberts, and that's it for now.